He was the man who turned the Mafia into a business empire. The man who outsmarted Al Capone, outlived his enemies, and made millions without ever pulling the trigger. His name was Charles "Lucky" Luciano. And this is the story of how a poor immigrant kid built the foundation of modern organized crime. Welcome to the rise of Lucky Luciano, the criminal genius who made the underworld run like Wall Street. Charles Luciano wasn't born lucky. He was born Salvatore Lucania in 1897 in a small Sicilian town called Lercara Fritti. His family came to America chasing the dream, but what they found in New York's Lower East Side was poverty, disease, and survival. At just 10 years old, Salvatore was already learning the language of the streets. By 14, he dropped out of school. By 17, he was running protection rackets from the back alleys of Manhattan, charging kids a dime to walk to school safely. He wasn't the biggest or the strongest, but he was smart. He realized early on, violence might win a fight, but organization wins the war. When the US banned alcohol in 1920, it created the single greatest business opportunity in criminal history. Luciano joined forces with Arnold Rothstein, a Jewish gambler known as the Brain. Rothstein taught him how to think like a businessman. Liquor became a supply chain. From distilleries to trucks to speakeasies, Luciano was making millions. He partnered with Frank Costello, Meyer Lansky, and Bugsy Siegel, men who would later become legends themselves. But the streets were dangerous. The Mafia was divided between old-school Sicilians who followed strict traditions and young, ambitious gangsters like Luciano who wanted power, not rituals. In 1929, Luciano's luck almost ran out. He was kidnapped, beaten, stabbed, and left for dead on a Staten Island beach. No one knows who ordered the hit, maybe rivals, maybe his own people. But Luciano survived, barely. When he returned, scarred and colder than ever, people started calling him Lucky. And from that moment, he played the game differently. He wasn't just surviving anymore, he was going to rule. At the time, the Mafia in America was ruled by two men, Joe Masseria and Salvatore Maranzano, both old-world bosses locked in a brutal war. Luciano played both sides, smiling at Masseria, then secretly working with Maranzano. And when the time was right, he made his move. April 15, 1931. Luciano invited Masseria to lunch at a restaurant in Coney Island. Luciano excused himself to the bathroom. Moments later, 4 gunmen stormed in, shots rang out, and Joe the boss Masseria lay dead. Luciano switched sides and helped Maranzano take control. But when